and I'm giving you ideas for other people who are watching. If you have cars, please remember, use the law to gain. Don't do anything against the law. If the government is doing something to you, you use it in the right way. If you don't, you lose it, right? Hello guys, and welcome back to yet another episode of Joshta Air Travel. As I have mentioned in my previous video, I have told you about the banking, loan scams. Actually, it's not a scam, but the banks are forcing the customers to sell their cars. As you all know, it's due to pandemics. We are not able to sometimes, as teachers, there's no job for teachers from April 2021. From April, May, June, and July, it's been 4 months without any pay. So for people like me, it's really hard to continue your, living, continue your daily activities. I mean, daily expenses, to meet the daily expenses. It is very difficult. Yeah, almost everyone are in that stage, but especially for the education sector, it's very hard for the teachers, not for the government teachers, but for the foreign teachers who are teaching in language centers and schools and universities and other organizations. So I'm going to give you some important news about the banking. Let me give you more details from the beginning. I'm not going to mention the bank's name, but still I will let you know in the next episode. So as you all know, the pandemic started in 2020, maybe end of the February. So before February, it was a holidays, like it was Tet holidays in Vietnam. So it started early January. So there is no work in January, and then February, and then March the lockdown began, and the end of the March, and the lockdown continued till April. I think the end of the April. Before that, it opened in 30 days. I'm sorry, but schools were and the language centers were back into action after May. So that was 2020. So what I'm trying to say is my own story, right? This doesn't belong to anyone, and I'm giving you my experience with this particular bank and what did they do during this period. So even though I couldn't earn much during January and February and March, I have already paid till the end of the March. I think till the end of the April. End of March. Yeah, March 1st I paid, and so I generally need a waiver. Or I mean, I'm not able to earn any single penny for last 3 months, and I couldn't pay the loan for the car. So we requested the bank to help us to postpone the payment for 1 or 2 months, since the government has issued this circular. So it clearly says financially affected customers should get the benefit or the support through the bank, and which is government is supporting the customers through the bank. So this is exactly what it is, but many people are not aware of it, and you would have heard about the stories what happened last year. People were forced to, the banks forced the people to forced people's car to sell it, and or if they couldn't pay, they have taken away their car. Even poor families, they are actually making a living out of this particular car. Maybe they're taxi drivers, they're renting a car for a service, and they couldn't have any other mean of service. I mean, any other mean of income. So what happened? The banks didn't care about anything. They just wanted to get the premium. I mean, the due every month, and they didn't want to lose a single penny. Most of the banks took the cars, and poor people, they are back into the street. I mean, they are literally on the street. And by July, these banks are selling these cars in auction. You know, they want real money very, very fast. Of course, yeah, we borrow money from bank and we are paying the interest rate. It doesn't mean that, the banks can take everything away just for some reason. And I have heard in the news, most of the banks have given this dividend share to their shareholders and employees. You know, so I'm not going to talk about that particular money. It's their hard work. Okay, they would have got it. Fine. All right. So the pandemic was I mean, it was literally it didn't affect too much in Vietnam. Of course, in other part of the world, most of the countries are were in very difficult situations, and especially Vietnam's economy didn't get affected. Now, what happened after that? Now again, the second wave, or third wave, or the fourth wave, came during the month of end of April and the beginning of May. The new cases started rising. So this year, actually, every industry was planning, even the education industry, they have postponed it, they have stopped all the classes in a very good plan. For example, the high schools, they have conducted the exams earlier, and they have, let the students go home to getting ready for lockdown. So what happened? Actually, schools shut down earlier, right? April, I think May first week, the schools were shut down. Almost May 15th, everything is closed. They have almost written all the exams, and that's it, done. So the language centers and other kindergarten schools, they got to go home early during, I think, end of the March. So April and May, they have no classes. So literally, as a foreign teacher, as a foreign teacher who's teaching for language centers and some institutions, they didn't have class from last March, end of the March, from April, May, June, July, and now today is 31st of July. So 4 months straight with no income. I'm not going to mention the name of the bank now. Maybe I'll be mentioning it in the future videos. I mean, the next video. But anyway, I will give you what's happening to me. So as I was talking to you during March, 2020. So I wasn't able to pay. So we asked the bank to extend our payment, and we have given and we have filled up an online form. We have downloaded it and signed it up and scanned it and sent it back to them. You know what they said? They said, "Oh, you're not eligible because your you have not met the time," or they say that time is up. All right. Luckily, the lockdown is lifted and I'm back to work. Okay, fine. But this year, from end of the March until now, there has been no classes. That means 4 months straight away. But I've paid all the dues until June. So this is my first month of default. I mean, I didn't pay this month for the loan. I'm giving you exactly what is happening, and you should understand my situation, and also, all right, you can decide it. And I'm giving you ideas for other people who are watching. If you have cars, please remember, use the law to gain. Don't do anything against the law. If the government is doing something to you, you use it in the right way. If you don't, you lose it. Right? So what is it? So Beginning of this month, I will tell you again, I'll repeat you, this car is not in my name. As you know, a foreigner cannot own a car. Yes, he can own a car if it is in a different scenario, not for a a regular way. So cannot own a car or an apartment. But nowadays you can see the apartments are all, you can get an apartment, but not exactly on the ground floor, somewhere above. And and this is in my wife's name. I'm not going to mention my wife's name or anything here, even the bank. So listen carefully. So on the first is the due date for the premium. I mean the loan amount. So usually I'll pay it on first, but this was on the second. So the 2nd of July, the sales, I mean the loan executive called my wife and asked us to, what happened? Why haven't you paid the monthly installment? And my wife was requesting her to, could you please extend it, because we are in a terrible situation. We have no classes. I mean, my only source of living is to take classes, to be honest, nothing else. I'm not a rich foreigner. I'm just surviving, right? So she asked them to extend a time, maybe to give us some excuse to extend it. But instead, she didn't listen to us. And what she did was, within another 5 days, she has handed over this call to a collecting agency, And these people are calling us morning, and evening, every week. And later on, it became every day. Almost on 17th, there were a lot of calls. So my wife was asking me how to answer them, what to do. So I talked to them. Could you ask them to please talk to me? The next time when they called her, then they fixed an appointment to talk to me the next day at 10 o'clock. The next day I was waiting for the call at 10 o'clock, but they didn't call at 10 o'clock. They called us at around 3 p.m. So while they were calling, she picked up the phone, and then she handed over the phone to me, and mentioning to that executive who's on the phone, or maybe collecting agent who's on the phone, she knows everything that I'm a foreigner. So when I picked up the phone and I said, hello, yes, and then she started talking in Vietnamese, pretending she doesn't know English. Then I said, you already know that I cannot speak Vietnamese, and I need someone to communicate in English. Could you please hand over the phone to someone who can speak English? She's just using Vietnamese and telling me to hand over the phone back to my wife. And she handed over the phone, and then she's surprisingly asking her, oh, is your husband foreigner? This is like, the appointment is fixed and everything has been talked, and they're acting like, holy hell. Anyway, never mind. This is the way they do. And then she passed on the phone to me, and I'm talking to them and explained the entire situation of my job and my work and everything. So I would like to mention one more thing. This bank approved the loan on basis of classes at home. All right? They have not taken any documents on basis of my wife's classes at home, not my classes, my wife's classes at home. And in those days, I was working for an international school. So they weren't sure about, they needed more security, more surety. So they asked my, contract to see how much I earn. And they took the contract and filed it with the loan application. And still the car is in her name. So they have got all the information of me. What's my name, my phone number, my job, a work area, a workplace, and my salary, everything. And she's asking back, oh, you work over here, right? I said, I used to, but not now. So your salary is this? Yes, I used to, but not now. So why can't you pay? I said, I used to, but not now. They've got all the information, but they're not ready to give up, or they're not ready to help. So she just hung up the phone, disconnected it. We didn't know what to do. So after that day, she gets another call the next day. It's the same. So I didn't know exactly what to do. I was really, you know, I was really frustrated, and I took this car in 2018 October. As soon as I took the car, I quit my job. So now it is almost 1.5 years. The car loan is for 6 years. Now it has been 3 years, 2018, 2020, 21. Yes. Now it's been almost 3 years, exactly half. And they were, the first time during the March, they were forcing us to sell the car. They said, if you don't pay, we're going to take your car away. And this time, what she says is, you have to bring the car to Ho Chi Minh City to talk about this matter. Why car? Why do you need the car? Shall we come in any other option? Because and also, by the time the lockdown has been implemented, so how do we go to Ho Chi Minh City? But they are insisting, they're forcing us to get to Ho Chi Minh City. How can I travel? I need a pass. I need to test. I have to spend more. They are not helping us, but they are trying to give us put us in more trouble. So what I did is, I just did an internet search for the consumer protection, or the consumer case or consumer court somewhere. So somehow I found the consumer protection department, which comes under the government. Yeah, I have to give it a try. Otherwise they're going to do what they want, because they act like a goons. I haven't paid just the month. It is not even over. Today is 31st, and before finishing a month, they have transferred my call or my case to a collection agent. They are literally bad guys. They're like goons. They'll come and threaten you with knife or a machete or something, and then snatch away what you have. So somehow I found this website. Okay, I'll mention the website in the comment box where to complain about. So before that, I will read the decrees. I mean the law. This law. The number says, the circular 03 slash 2021 slash TT hyphen NHNN, amending circular 01 slash 2020 slash TT NHNN, stipulating that credit institutions and foreign bank branches restructure the repayment term, accept or reduce interest, fees, and keep debt group to support customer affected by the COVID-19 pandemic or epidemic. So the number of symbol is 03 bar 2021 bar TT slash NHNN, date of issue 02 bar 04 bar 2021. Remember, this is on the 2nd of April. The government planned already. All right. Effective starts from May 17th. It starts from May 17th, 2021. Category, circulars. Field, legal policy. Agency issued, other agencies and departments. And sign on, others. So this is it. And I have downloaded the attachment. You can see it on the screen. So guys, so how did I get to this? I'll let you know clearly. So I was in a great frustration, and I was thinking, how do I find a solution? So how do you find a solution? Google. I started searching on Google, as I mentioned earlier, about this issue. I mean, where to complain, give a complaint about my repayment of loan, or the harassment done by the bank, not even finishing 1 month, and they've been harassing us to pay their loan. In between, they have said, they were asked us to pay the 50%. So I somehow searched the net, and I got this vcca.gov.bn. This is a government organization which takes care of consumer complaints and consumer rights. So I don't know how to read this, but this translator is not even translating because it's a government website. So some websites translates, some doesn't. So what I did is I called them on the helpline. It's a toll-free number. The toll-free number is, it's 1800 6838. I repeat, 1800 6838. So I called this number, and this is actually a call center run by the government, and one of the staff picked up my phone, and I explained my name and where do I live and where I'm presently now, and I told the situation, I told my problems, and I wasn't sure whether he understood or not, but I asked him in the end, I hope you understood. Could you please help me? Where should I complain? So then he gave me the website where I should go to give an online complaint, but his informations were not clear. So I asked him again. Maybe he wasn't sure what he was saying in English. So he connected to another officer, and this officer was speaking in a very good English. I was really surprised, and to be honest, this officer was very, very friendly. I told him all my problems, and he given me the exact website, and he gave me this government circular, and he told no banks can harass you, so don't worry, you fill up these applications and send it back to us. So that was my beginning. So guys, today is 31st Saturday, so I am waiting for the informations. I have to fill in this application on Monday, which is 2nd of August, and then they said they'll be sending this file to the bank and ask them to deal with it, and if they don't, they will take prior action. So I'm waiting for it. So keep watching to know the result. Thank you, and see you again. Peace.